Hey guys, it's IcyNewYear, and I'm back with some more Better Than Starting Man. I'm using version 1.48, Miss the Marsupial, which is a phenomenal name. And we're going to jump right into this with, our very first rocket. Obviously, I've done a reset. I wanted to basically play through the game understanding the basic concepts of Kerbal Space Program, which is something I kind of lacked before. I basically learned Kerbal through Better Than Starting Man, and that made a lot of my early episodes very derpy. So let's just go ahead. We got that set our group, save that, and let's launch our first rocket, the Big Billy, and let's get some science. So for those of you wondering, I am going to be doing this series basically weekly. And that's going to essentially give me enough time to be able to look at you guys' comments, because I feel like with Kerbal Space Program, I really can't get a backlog. Because I am still learning. I think it's very important that I, be able to read your comments and apply any advice I get before I record the next episode. It's just one of those games that very much shows when you have a backlog. And it can become frustrating for both, me as the recorder and you as the viewer. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And that gives me basically a couple days to get feedback. And then, most of a week to find time to record another episode. So you can expect these episodes roughly weekly. There we go. We're going to get 2 bits of science, which is awesome. There we go. And that's all we're going to be able to pull out of this one. So let's let it gracefully flutter back down to the ground. But yeah, that's what we basically got going. I'm really excited because I've seen some screenshots Flower Child was posting of some of the really late game stuff. And it's just amazing looking. So I'm super excited. It's going to take me a while to get to that point. I really need to learn how to do docking. I'm considering installing another save and going to vanilla just to do some docking practice, just to get the basic concept of docking, because I've never done it before. I might go in, if I'm doing it in vanilla, I'll probably just go in sandbox to do some practice, just to get a feel for it. And obviously it's not going to be exactly the same with Deadly Reentry and Better Than Starting Man, but at least I'll understand the concepts before I try to do it live here. But let's go ahead and just let this bad boy come on down, and we can spend some of our delicious science points. That was nice. Okay, so we're going to go back to the Space Center, and go into our research and development. Okay, so we have all that, and here we get our first battery, a larger booster, and a barometer. So I'm pretty excited about that. Let's go ahead and get a second launch up and running. Go ahead, new ship. We're obviously going to be using the only core probe we have. And let's do one of these guys. Just a 4-spot there. There we are. That should do it. Okay, so on this one, we are going to want to get communicatrons. Just put 2 of those on there. And as you can tell, I'm resisting the urge to put them up on the top, even though it's the coolest way to put them. It's the coolest looking way. It is not the most effective way. And we're going to need some batteries. So let's pop 4 batteries on here. There we go. Oh, I don't have my angle snap on. That actually explains a lot of this wonky tonkness I was getting with these. There we go. And there we go. Cool. Okay, so now let's set up our action groups. We're going to put the thermometer back on 1. And we're going to put the back on 2. And I'm actually going to go ahead and pick these up and place them as singles and then place them as doubles. I believe that's how you get it so the action group will only toggle one of them. But we can still keep our balance. We're going to name this guy the Bigger Billy. I don't know why I've got that name in my head right now, but that's what we're doing. Okay, so we're going to launch in 3, 2, 1. There we go. We can actually go ahead and run the barometer now. Yep, cool. Get our first barometer reading. Ooh, we're getting some overheating going. I think we'll be okay, though. Got ourselves another 8 science. That's always fantastic. Go ahead and stage that up. Is that too? Yeah, it's too low for another barometer reading. I didn't pay attention to this whatsoever. We're actually going up very slowly. I'm okay with this, though. Okay. Let's see the... Ooh, we're starting to tilt. Welp. Such is the life. Okay, now our last stage. So, I think the farthest I've gotten is I've done a moon landing, which was fantastic. I had a lot of fun with that. It was a probe, and I left it on the moon. It was not a very graceful landing, but it was a landing nonetheless. And I think that's about the farthest that's the farthest I've gotten. So basically my next step was to do a recovery mission from the moon, and for that I would need to learn how to do docking. That kind of threw me off. I had some changes in how I run my channel, you know, the pre-recording of episodes due to some like time restrictions in real life. So that threw me off a little. But Flower Child and I talked, and this, I think, is a great solution for both of us where, you know, once a week, you know, the episodes aren't nearly as frequent, but it allows me to get the interactivity I was hoping for, but still manage to produce content. So I'm really excited to be back on the ball with all this. Okay. Was it? Oh, yeah, it's 70. I'm a little rusty, so forgive me. So there we go. Transmit that, and transmit that temperature scan. Maybe. I don't know if we're going to have the, yeah, we should have the electric charge. Temperature scans are tiny. And there we go. So that was a nice little trip there. We picked up, let's see, low orbit. Actually, how far up are we going to get? Oh, wow. We can get high orbit, I believe. I think high orbit is like 140? 170? Somewhere in that area? Or is it 240? Actually, I think it's 240. Okay, well, that's fine. Damage due to lack of power. You piece of crap. Hey, we're gonna have a splash landing. A splash crash landing. The best kind. Because if your landing doesn't make you blow up and get you wet, you're doing it wrong. Okay, well, I just blew up in air. So that works too, I guess. Okay, cool. So let's jump back to the Space Center and spin some of this sweet, sweet science. We have 43 points. So we got General Rocketry, which comes with the Gravioli. We have Winglets, and we have Survivability. And I do believe... I think I'm going to go... No, I need the Winglets before I can do Survivability. We're going to do the General Rocketry. Oh, wait, I can do 2 of these. Oh, I could have just done those 2. Okay, well, that's fine. We did the General Rocketry. That gives us our Gravioli scanner. And honestly, what we're going to do is use the same design here. We need 2 of those. We're going to put another 4 batteries on here. Oops. Because this is going to be enough to get us up to space. We're not going to use the winglets yet. So we're just going to get like basically one scan. And then we'll use one, we'll make one that uses those winglets. I really need to put those on a hotkey, because that's going to be super frustrating if I don't. So let's jump back, revert to assembly, and go ahead and put this on an action group. There we go. Cool. We are good. Oh, it's going to be double. Whatever. I'm not reverting back to fix that. It's fine. I'll just exit out of one. Okay, so we're going to launch in 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Okay. This launch is going to be very, very similar to our last one, except we're not going to go quite as high because we have those extra batteries on there, and the gravioli scanners are kind of heavy. I believe they're heavier than the thermometer and the atmospheric scanner. I think. Don't quote me on that, but they're pretty heavy. So we're not going to go quite as high. Oops. But we'll get high enough to get a gravity scan, maybe 2 if we're lucky. So this weird moment where I was pretty sure I took off my antennas, but no, they're still on there safely. That's good. Take a look at that. Okay. We're leaning pretty severely here. So we might not actually make it up, because we are leaning like crazy. And I think a big part of that is the fact that I kind of stuttered on launching my second stage. I probably should have let it sit on the launch pad a little longer to make sure there's no wiggle going on. We'll see if we can actually break through. We're going to get 21, 22. We might be able to make it. If we do, we're most likely only going to be getting one biome, which will be the ocean. Well, that's fine. That'll give us enough science to get a good start. Ooh, actually, we're kind of turning a little. And we are going to make it. Excellent. And we're going to make it enough to get... I still think we're probably only going to get one biome. Like, if we get super lucky, we might get the shores. We'd have to get really... It's hard to say. It is hard to say if we can get shores or not. So we're going to go ahead and time warp up to 70. Where we can start doing our gravioli scans. There we go. And transmit that down. Wait, which one was that? That's... Oh, grasslands. I really didn't expect to get grasslands. That is fantastic. I need to reinstall my resource panel. I really like the one that lets me control it in the map screen. Like do staging and such. Yeah, we're only going to have energy enough for one transfer, though. If that. I forgot how much those transfers take. Yeah, we'll have enough for the full transfer, I think. There we go. Now the question is, we wouldn't have gotten out of the grasslands. So what we're going to go ahead and do is jump back to the Space Center. We'll let that thing just kind of float its way down eventually. And that is enough to unlock our survivability. We'll do the survivability flight in the next episode. I think I'm going to run a couple more gravioli scan launches. We're just tearing through the really, really early game. I mean, once you figured out, how you go about doing it, it's pretty quick. But let's go ahead and we're going to launch this guy one more time, unguided, which I know I should be using my wings here, my winglets here, but I'm going to put enough batteries on here that we can get 2 to 3 scans. We'll do one more set of batteries. This is going to weigh us down a lot, but we're really overshooting what we need by a huge amount. So we're going to do one more launch here and try to get a couple more biomes before we redesign and start up with a different ship design. So my wiggle seems to be all right. We're going to launch in 3, 2, 1, blast off. Okay. It's ribbed for space's pleasure. I'm lonely. Okay. So let's go ahead and launch now. My resource panel there. Got that nice reverb off the engines. You can hear in the background there, that thing. Where it sounds like they're just being blared through really old, crappy speakers. I love it. The other question I had about this series, I'd like everyone's opinion, is basically, would you prefer, like on longer missions, let's say I'm going to the Mun, would you prefer the episode just to be, okay, here's from start to finish me getting to the Mun the whole way? Or do you guys want me to cut out some of the more boring bits? I'd love to hear people's opinions on that. Until I decide, I'm going to do pretty much nothing off camera. Unless, you know, I get a consensus that, yeah, cut out parts. So cool, we'll get the ocean biome here. But I think that's about it. That's looking nice. It's going to bring us up, what? To 140? 130, okay. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and time warp a little. Get ourselves up to the 70K mark. We might be able to get shores if we're really lucky. I don't think so, though. I'm pretty certain I'm going to be... No, yeah, that's over the waters. So we're going to start this transmission. We'll let it finish, then we'll time warp and see if we might be able to get anything else. Like, I don't think I will. I think it's just going to be water. I don't know what biome these islands are. But we'll see. So that's a lot of batteries for nothing. But we can make a craft to kind of head this way. Get a couple more biomes there, this way. We still have our manned trip to run, which I'm really excited about. Those are fun. They're very tense missions to do it without killing the guy. Okay, so there's another 25 science there. We're going to go ahead and time warp just the tiniest bit. So I want to see if these islands will give us anything. I think that's over the islands. Yep, cool. We got shores from that. Awesome. Now it's a matter of basically just letting that go. Pop back to our map real quick. The bigger, badder Billy is about to touch down. I don't know what that's going to do to my upload. I probably should have waited for that to be done. So let's go ahead and switch out of this. Of course, of course. Let's go ahead and go to the Space Center. No, we'll just let this guy blow up. Okay, so we've blown up. Can I switch now? No. Okay. That's probably a little bit of a mistake, but we'll see how it works. We might have lost that science. I don't know how that... Go ahead and fly that guy. Yep, I have no idea if I got that science or not. Well, let's go look. If I didn't, it's a huge loss. We'll just have to launch again. Science archives. There we go. Gravity scans for shores. No, I did not get the science because I switched out. Well, I've learned something today. But we are up to 45 science. That's enough to pick up one more node here. We're probably going to go RCS. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards. Because with RCS, we can actually start working towards, you know, some semblance of an orbit. I don't think we can get a full... It's going to be a bitch to get a full orbit without the decoupler, but we can at least work towards something. But I think that's where we're going to end this episode. Remember, guys, to like and comment if you are enjoying it. It really does help me out. Let me know in the comments what you think about, you know, the editing, basically. And if you're new around here, be sure to hit that subscribe button to know when I put out more videos. As always, have a great day.